What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're talking about frogs, specifically the Berkley swamp lure. I'll tell you my thoughts fishing it. Is it worth it? I'll let you know right now. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. This channel is all about baits, fishing trends, bass fishing, anything about bass fishing, and I do a lot of stuff on new tackle. And one I'm going to talk to you about right now is a new item that came out last year. It's the Berkley Swamp Lord Frog. Now, everyone makes a frog. I mean, there's some really good ones. I'll put a link to a video I just did recently of some of my favorite frogs that you may not have heard of. And one of those was actually the Swamp Lord. It's a new bait, and I've been fishing it a bunch. I've really tried to see if this bait is any different than a lot of other frogs. Because honestly, for the most part, frogs are all pretty much the same. I mean, obviously, the more you spend, you're gonna get better hooks, maybe some more durability, better colors. I mean, there's a few different things that make frogs different, but for the most part, they're pretty similar. So the Swamp Lord comes in two versions, a standard and a popping. Nothing really crazy there. I mean, it just gives you different options. I personally, generally, am using the walking frog almost everywhere. I do use the popping frog if I'm fishing a little bit more open water, if I'm fishing around bluegill beds. There's sometimes when I do like a popping frog, but if I had to just pick one and that's all I could use, it would be a walking frog. Everyone's different. So with that being said, I have used the walking frog a lot more. Now, the couple things that I noticed about the frog, it does what it's supposed to. It walks really well. I mean, all the frogs now are really dialed in to be able to walk really well, to cast really well. I mean, it does all those things. These baits are both 2/3 of an ounce, so that's kind of standard. They're nothing crazy there. A lot of them are, 5/8, so it's really basically the same thing. A lot of the popular ones like the bronze-eye frog, I think, is 5/8, so really about the same exact size. So it's not going to be much heavier or much lighter. You're not going to notice any difference with casting. They all cast really well. Now, one thing I will say about the Swamp Lord, and it could have been just me, the place I was fishing, but see that one right there? It is missing the weight. That happens often, if you fish frogs a lot, but this one seemed to happen pretty quickly. So that, again, it could just have been how I was fishing it, skipping under docks, things like that, where I knocked it out, but it is gone. I got to figure out a way to put another weight in there. I'll probably take it off of, an old beat up frog or something like that, kind of repair this thing, because it's still a good frog. Now, the one thing that I will say on the positive side are both of these are really, really flat. See a good way to show that for you. So the tops and the bottom are really flat. So these baits skip incredibly well. That's something that a lot of people still don't do, but skipping under docks and way under trees, that's where you're gonna get a lot of bites with the frog. So having one that's flatter is gonna skip a little bit better. They all skip pretty well, but this one skips incredibly well. These frogs are both 10 bucks, so that's kind of the going rate now. Again, everything costs more. That's kind of what it costs. It's 10 bucks. Generally, you're not going to lose a lot of frogs just because you're using heavy braid, heavy rod, things like that. But you're more likely, honestly, to probably wear them out, where you catch so many fish that they're just kind of retired. So 10 bucks is, you're going to keep this frog for a long time. So not too bad of a price. The durability is still in question, but I really like the overall package of the frog, like I said, with how well it skips. Also, the performance and colors are good. It walks really well, it pops really well, good colors. They also have these really sharp hooks. These are the Fusion 19, which is Berkley's hook. These things are incredibly sharp, and it said, I just kind of read through the description of this just to make sure I had all the facts right. It says it was designed to get better hookup percentage, which, I mean, it does. It hooks fish easily. Part of that's that soft body, so it's going to collapse so you can get a good hook set. Especially on that one, you could see how much that one opens up when you push down on it. That's how you get the best hookup percentage, is having a softer body, but it's not too soft where it's going to tear. This is one I've caught several fish on, and you could see it is, not really marked up very much. So caught fish on it, and it is still holding strong, still ready to go. I did trim the skirt on this one a little bit just so it walks a little bit better. Fishing it on a Phoenix Feather 7'3" extra heavy. I really like this for frogs. Phoenix, they're not as heavy as it sounds. It's more like a heavy in my opinion. It's got a nice tip so you can walk that bait. Got it on a Shimano Bantam, which I love, the 7.1, and then 50-pound Seaguar Tactics braid, which is a rougher 4-strand braid, so it cuts through vegetation really well. That is a perfect frog setup. The best one I've found, there's a lot of good frog rods, but this one I think is is incredible for fishing a frog. This rod is also good for a lot of other things as well. I've talked about it in some other videos. But that's my setup for the frog. And the Swamp Lord, I mean, it's earned a place in my box. It's a solid frog, hooks fish well. You don't miss as many fish, and they get it because of those hooks. So really like the Swamp Lord. Again, I've used the walking frog way more than the popping frog, but if you like popping frogs, they have one as well. So have you used it? Let me know. I always like to hear feedback, and like I say in a lot of videos, you know, let me know if there's some other frogs that you know about, maybe some new stuff that you want me to check out. I'm always looking for new items to fish and then to talk about. So thanks for watching.